everybody? I am Ronick. Welcome to season 2 of Krylon Talk. Today we're getting it in with my homeboy. Make sure to tune in. This will be a good one. Nothing but love and respect. I want to give a thank you to everybody that's been supporting, everybody that's been streaming, subscribing, and all the positive feedback. Again, this is by writers, for writers, for the culture. A voice for graffiti writers. Krylon Talk. Yeah. Let's get it.
For sure, for sure.
Again, brother, I don't know if you caught me, but I just wanted to thank you for coming on Krylon Talk, shedding some light on us, letting us get a chance to get to know you. And I'm Ronick. And yeah, let's get this going. I want to start today by asking you if you could share a little bit about what year you started painting and what attracted you to start painting.
I started 1991 in the Pico Union area. I was
area.
That's right.
Yay.
We well, just kind of hang out. I used to skate and just kind of write dumb stuff everywhere. And older cats that I used to hang out with be like, "Oh, you're a tagger." I'm like, "No, I'm just writing for whatever." And but so they pretty much kind of took me under their wing, and they're like, "All right, dude, you're gonna write with us, and this is what you're gonna write." And so I had guidance from older cats, and that's how I started writing.
They took you under the wing.
Yeah. It was good people too. Still talk to them. They just started teaching me how to write, and eventually they initiated me in the crew. It's an old crew called CTA.
CTA. I've seen it up before. CTA.
It's been around for a while. So I was one of those kids that I wanted to go from the bottom to the top quick. So I wrote everywhere. I wrote the crew everywhere.
Yeah, I feel you, man. I'm the same way. When I do something, I want to be the best at it.
That's what's up.
Can you share a little bit about what utensils were you using when you started painting back in '91? Was there something specific?
I'm sorry?
Is there something specific that you were using as far as utensils to get up back in '91?
I used most pilots, the big thick pilots, and of course Krylons.
Oh.
So,
you got a favorite color on the Krylon?
I got a couple: cherry red, true blue, and turquoise.
Hey, that's a dope scheme right there.
Yeah, those are my go-to colors,
That dope. Did it bug you by any chance, brother, knowing that Krylon spray can and Krylon the company had a lot to do with the initiation of graffiti, but at the same time they kind of didn't endorse or show love to the graffiti culture? Is that something that touched you in any way?
I stopped writing for about 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah, as soon as life hit, life started. Kids, marriage, and all that, and then and I stopped for 10 years. So when I got back or whatever you say, or I started painting again, it was a big disappointment. Like, wait a minute, Montana, what the heck, But yeah, to me it was like, but hey, they lose business because you got all these other brands now that they're making bank off of the graffiti culture, and Krylon, they kind of just downstep their game, and it is what it is. But those times where you can go and just get some of those Krylon sweet colors, it's unreal, bro. It's dope,
Yeah, bro, and it's crazy too because a lot of cats don't seem to understand that back in the day when cats like yourself were using Krylon, you were using, you were throwing out burners with a stock tip. You know what I mean? There was no, I'm gonna go to the skate shop and give me a New York Fat or a Pink That. It would just go right at it with a straight stock tip.
Nope, you get those oven cleaners, or you work with what you got, either stock or oven cleaners, or you just go to the hex shop on Melrose and score some tips or something, you know.
Nah, I feel you on that one, man. We used to get the Elmer's cans. I don't know
Okay.
what they were, but they were like little Elmer's cans, and I used to take the
Mhm.
tip out of it and put it on the cryolin and go at it.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, man. And if you don't mind sharing, like, are you from Southern California, a certain part, or where are you based out of growing up
Born,
painting?
born and raised downtown LA, Pico Union.
Dope, dope.
Yes, sir.
Can you share a little bit about the Pico Union graffiti lifestyle? Was it any different than LA, South Central, or anywhere down like where I'm at? I'm in the harbor area, so I'm over here by like San Pedro,
Sure.
Dominguez, Carter, and all that.
It was, I lived 2 blocks away from the convention center. Um,
Okay.
so we had the traffic of the gangs, nothing but gang infestation. So graffiti was like a haven for a lot of people that didn't want to get into that, didn't want to step into that violence and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Um, it was pretty rough. You got all these, like I said, different types of gangs going here and there, crossing boundaries. So not only did you have to look out for the cops, but you had to look out for them, trying to jack your cans or your tools. You feel me? So back in the days, it was pretty hard. And graffiti just kind of gave me a safe outlet to just develop, tag, and just kind of be incognito and just ninja my way through the streets and get up here and there. So
Yeah, I thank you for sharing that, brother, because again, like a lot of people don't seem to understand like the risk, like as a graffiti writer, the gang activity is something that plays a major part, because gang members obviously they feel like instead of being a graph writer, you should just join them. You know what I mean? And they'll do as much as possible to get you them and do that. That's where the conflict starts, and you might just be simply walking to the store, and these guys want to throw a fit or whatnot. No disrespect to anybody, but it's just really how it is.
yeah, no, yeah, back in the day it was recruitment, and then you got the whole green light on the writers that took a big impact on at least the area where I was. There was a lot of crews that were coming up, and then they just had to either join or step back. Or at that point, I was already, life. I was studying and I was trying to move forward and, just kind of move on, grow up and be responsible and all that. So um, it just took flight. I was out.
I didn't know about the green light on graffiti writers back in those days. Hey, can you share a little bit about that? Was it something that was like seriously like enforced by I mean by gang members?
I believe in, I might be wrong, but the way I remember it, it started, the mix between the guys that would be graph writers
Yeah.
and the guys that wanted to bang, and then there was writers that were gangbangers, and then they try to put their new crews or whatever they were trying to do, and they were turned into tag bangers. And then I
Definitely.
guess, yeah, and then and then all the violence started, and finally, I guess, the shot callers decided to say, all right, green light on all you. You either with us or you squash your crew or whatever. So
Yeah, man, because I know the tag banging situation was popular. I believe, if I'm wrong, but I believe it was like early '90s when tag banging was like becoming a thing.
it was full on, dude. It was full on. And then, I remember that even, like from day to night, homies that I would know, all of a sudden they'd be like, where are you from? What are you talking about? They came, yeah, they became from writers to bangers, just at gunpoint. Where are you from, dude? We just we drank a with each other, you know. but yeah, that really took to the a bad turn, but the OG writers that are still here, and still doing their thing, they know, it took a little maneuver to deal with it and just kind of hold your own, and that's what most of us did, hold our own. And we're writers. We're, God gives you a point, God gives you a purpose, and you are what you are. You know what I'm saying? I truly believe I was born to spray paint.
Yeah, I feel you on that one, brother. Sometimes I be feeling that way too, because you know how sometimes you got those moments where it's like, damn, like you start thinking, what am I doing? What is this shit? Like, should I keep doing it?
Yeah, and like I mentioned, I stopped for about 10 years, and I did it because I um my kids or whatever, and work and all that. I just dipped into being responsible or whatever. um and I came back because I was sick. I got sick, and I had to be on disability for about a year, and I lost a lot, my home and cars and what. And so I gotta say, my brothers that I grew up with, they would come visit me, and they literally got me a black book, markers, and they're like, dude, dude, this is not you. This is not you. You gotta, you, what happened to your art, bro? What happened to this? What happened to that? And it got me out of that funk, and it made me realize that I was born to paint.
I feel you on that one, brother. I want to say that you looked up like one or two. Is there someone that pushed you to work on your style and develop a style of your own? Is there like a writer out there that kind of shed that momentum to you?
Yeah. Like I said, the homie that pretty much got me into writing, he would tell me all the time, practice your hand style. And and then another member that had rank in the crew, um, of course, from that time, um, there was like, God, there was Euler, and then there was like Jimmer, and then there was like, people that I'll be like, man, that's 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 what I want to do. That's how I want to, you know what I'm saying? Um, and it just inspired me, it inspired me to just wreck stuff up, bro.
How do you feel about the burners anymore? You know what I mean? It feels more like people are just throwing up a simple little throw up or little block letters, but no one really is emphasizing and throwing up that burner and developing their style to be a king. You know, in my personal opinion, your opinion might be different, but if you could share a little bit about how you feel about that situation and the generation today.
Right. Nowadays, it's really, of of spray cans. You got, so you got these kids, man. You got these guys that they're, I don't know, 20, 19, 18 years old, dude, and they smash. They're talented. You know what I'm saying? Um, and unfortunately, sometimes their ego gets to them. Like, yeah, dude, I'm better than you, you old fart or whatever. But they'll never grasp the idea of getting that respect of being around for so long. Um, Another old school writer and be like, yo, what up? yeah, they're skilled in everything, but in reality, they just, it's all that new stuff that's out there that makes them, that makes them good.
Yeah, dope, man. Now that you mentioned it, I recently got introduced to the iPad, the Procreate thing. I'm new to it, probably like 3 months in. I mean, I think this is something different. It
Yeah,
makes it much quicker and faster.
yeah, it's it's a tool. It's a new tool. A lot of people, design their pieces on it, and then I guess they call it their sketch or whatever. But to me, there's nothing like a pencil and a paper and just scribble and an eraser.
You're right about that, brother. It's sure it's definitely a different feeling. And the graffiti world, brother, there's like two terms that's been used around for a very long time. And I wanted to ask you if you could give me your take on how you feel about those two terms. One being toy and the other one being capping.
Um, well, we'll start. I guess it's toy. I guess you just don't know. You don't have a style. I guess you know what I'm saying. You don't have a style. You're not knowledgeable about the graph. If you're just out there just to destroy and smash or whatever, um, I guess then you're considered a toy. I've never, I think that I mean, there's people that don't even try to develop, don't even try to step it up a game. You know what I'm saying? Like little by little, I'm not saying people should just come out of the woodwork and have a better style or whatever, but then there's people that they just don't care. They just be like, oh, I don't care. But it's always, I think, for every writer or artist, evolving is just something that comes in naturally. It's
Yeah,
organic.
definitely. Yeah, you're right
Yeah,
about that.
because at some point we were all toys. We were all toys. We were just hit up and that's it. And and eventually we are where we are. Your can control gets better, the choosing of your color palettes, and you twist your letter a different way, and start throwing characters on your pieces, or you know what I'm saying. So that in that part, being a toy, I would say, is just someone that is not knowledgeable, and they just don't care, and they just keep doing with what they're doing. And personally, I've never called anybody a toy because I have a lot of love for the culture, so I'm not going to disrespect anybody, because then there's people that don't have style, but they have a lot of heart.
Yeah, yeah, that's true, bro. That's definitely true. You got guys that they're very passionate, but
Yeah,
they
they're
still need the
passionate,
work.
and they just keep going. And then as far as the capping, it's a basic rule. It's a basic rule. If you can't do better than what's on the wall, go find somewhere else to do, whatever you're going to do. I think that's the main rule. Nowadays, I've seen, cats cap my stuff, and I honestly don't care, because regardless, if they cap me, guess what? Down the street and the other wall, I'm gonna paint again, and I'm gonna paint again. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. So capping, it's an old fundamental rule. If you can't do better, leave it alone. Go find somewhere else where you can cap someone that's under you.
Now I feel you on that. It's just sometimes, bro, I be seeing like these beautiful murals, and then you'll see some like 3-letter names, and it's like I don't feel like stuff like that's necessary.
Yeah. There's some, with the crews that I'm in, I've done some productions, and yeah, they come and they just do throwies or whatever, and I can care less because I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna fix it and make it look like it was never there. So
Definitely true. I'm the same way. I remember, man, growing up when I was painting, and my parents found out that I was painting. They gave me the shits, man. That shit, it's something that I like to share. Can you share a little bit about how did that experience go with you, letting your people know, like, hey, man, I'm a graffiti writer?
You mean like my parents?
Yeah.
Actually, so when I started writing, the OGs that I hung out with, they were like, dude, because I would tell them, dude, I want a piece. I want to make art. I want to make something beautiful, and they were
Yeah.
like, well, you better get your butt and, get an art class, or, what I'm saying? So I did just that. I started, my art classes, and as I started developing, um, I would use that as an excuse. And actually, like my mom was like, "Oh, okay, you need paint for this beautiful drawing you did. Okay, where can we go get it?" So yeah, it was a transition of from, oh my God, you're writing on the walls in the street. Oh no, to like, oh yeah, you know what? I like that color. Let's get it. And and they'd buy it for me because I was 16, 17. I wasn't 18 to buy it, and then and just getting it with the homies, they, just getting with the homies sometimes. So but it wasn't, yeah, like, my parents were like, like I said, I was trying to be incognito and, ninja about it, and, and still, yeah, try to be the good boy. But in reality, I had that alter ego where I would go tagging at night and shit like that. So yeah.
I gotta go do it.
Yeah. So, it was like that. And of course, all writers, we went, racking and whatnot. So, it's, after a while, it was kind of obvious that I was just doing graffiti.
Man, I remember when it took me on my first racking mission, bro. My older homies, like, just kicking a little kid and shit, taking me to go rack. And man, the adrenaline that I got that day, bro, it was just like, that shit was crazy.
Yeah. Well, it's part of the rush. It's almost the same thing as when, the first times that you hit up a wall. When I first got initiated, we literally stood in a corner, and I must have caught like at least 5 buses, hang off of the back of a bus, and just hit it.
Because if I'm not mistaken, that was a thing back then, huh? Getting the RTD buses. Like,
Oh yeah, yeah. Your tag was traveling all across town.
Yeah, because I was a kid at that time, bro. Because I was born in '93, so by the time that shit was popping, I wasn't around yet.
Yeah. You were able to hang off the grill and just catch a nice tag, and just,
and just rock over the city.
exactly. Fun times. But again, it was depending on where, I guess, where you lived and what your background is. You had to watch out, but it was good times. There's nothing like the '90s.
Man, I wish I could experience one day, man, but I was a baby. Can you share a little bit about? I know you represent some crews. If you could share a little bit about your crews and what it means to you representing those crews.
Sure. So when I started painting again, heard of, like I said, I stepped out, so I had no clue of who was who or what was what. I just remembered from my time. So like I wanted to get into a crew, but again, I don't have time for cops. I don't have time to, go to jail or whatever. The last time I got popped, I served like 5 days in jail, and I was like, dude, I'm old already. I don't have time for this.
Yeah.
When I started painting again, I wanted to find a crew that was, they have members that bring something to the table, and I would want to be one of like that. So I'm in a crew called ISI. It's Iron Sharpens Iron.
Okay.
We're a Christian crew. So we're all Christian writers. basically we're not to represent the Lord, to honor our Lord and give thanks. So that's the same with G4. Go forth. It's also a Christian crew, and and there's very talented artists in it, and and I love it. It's something that
For anybody typing in, brother, that's not familiar with a Christian crew, can you share a little bit about, you know, what is a Christian crew, and how do you guys go about that? Because I know it's a little different.
well it train hitting or any street tagging or whatever. It's not allowed. It's not allowed. Everything has to be legal, and there's a lot of brotherhood. It's more of a sincere brotherhood. We get to do Blackwood sessions together. We celebrate at the end of the year. We paint together. It's a little bit more closer, something that makes me comfortable in being in a crew where it's not only about the graffiti, but it's someone that you can reach out and be like, "Hey, brother, I'm having trouble with whatever," and they're going to be there to hear you out, pray for you, and do what they can as a true brother to help you move on as a person. So there's a lot of love. There's a lot of love than I would say being in a regular crew. Not that I'm not saying that other crews are not like that, but 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 it's way different. It's way different, and that's my goal was to get into ISI, and they finally admitted to that. They recruited me or whatever, and yeah, it's something that it's that hierarchy. I'm working for something that is not just for fame. It's you're doing it for God. There's nothing higher than that.
I understood. I have a friend that's part of a crew like that out here, and he has said some light on me on how they represent themselves and how they go about that. And I respect it, because it's good that you share that, brother, because a lot of cats don't seem to understand that at some point in life you have to evolve. You cannot be in the street and be 60, 50 years old and getting caught for catching a tag and lose so much that you got going on for a tag. And a lot of people try to call it being a sellout, but in my point of view, it's like it's just being growing up. Because at some point you need money. At some point you got to feed yourself, and if you have kids or a girl or whatever, you got to take care of them too. And that illegal stuff, it's cool. I love it, but it's not going to pay the bills.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you're starting off, if you're going to jump into being a writer, then unfortunately, that's the training wheels. You got to mob, you got to hit up, you got to be up, and but eventually, especially like myself, I'm old. I'm not about to be, getting on a billboard anymore. I'm not gonna chase a train the way I used to. No way, no, no, I'm not. But I paint. I paint a lot, and I try to, and that's how I think you keep being up. People see your stuff, and they relate to you in that way. I know a lot of old school writers, and they gave me props for my work, and that makes me feel good because it's OGs from the '90s, and thank God I do it legally, and they still give me love for it, which is cool.
That's dope, brother, and it's dope that they know they share love, because you got some guys that be acting like "don't talk to me" type of vibe.
Yeah, which is fine. I do get a lot of that. I do get a lot of cold shoulders, but it really doesn't matter to me because obviously we're on a different path. It's a different path.
Definitely, brother. And now that you mentioned that you do a lot of legal work, that's a very high demand question that I guess as I started this podcast, Crime on Talk, where a lot of cats ask the question of for someone that's out there, painting or got something going on, what step can they take to start gaining legal work?
Um, I always one time I met this guy at a gallery showing, and the guy was really upset. He was really good artist.
Yeah.
And he was upset that this guy it was his showing, and he was upset that why wasn't he making the money of the guy from the gallery, the guy hosting the gallery, right?
Okay.
The showing, because the guy was better, you know. And I told him, I go, dude, I go, the reason this guy's selling his stuff is because he put his own time and his work on being out there, on painting, on being out there, you know. Paint, unfortunately, paint is expensive, and
Definitely.
your time is expensive, your gas is expensive, but the more you put out your artwork, the more you go, wherever, legal or illegal or whatever, the more you're out there, the more people see you, and then they'll take interest in you. It's like, oh, you know what? I like this guy's style. I like his form of artwork, or his graffiti style or whatnot. Um, and that's how you'll get work. People will be like, hey, do you think you can do my kid's bedroom, or hey, in my backyard, can you do a scenery for me? Or it'll be like that. And just being out there, just throwing your stuff out there. You're not gonna No one's gonna look at you, no one's gonna call you if no one has seen your stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of like advertising a business. You might have the most popular or high demand business, but if no one knows you exist, nobody's gonna call you.
Right.
um, is there, now that you do a lot of productions and stuff? Is there like a certain step or procedure that you take when you go out and do your thing, or do you just be freestyling up there?
Well, for productions, it really all depends, who put it together, or is there a lineup, and there's many moving parts depending on, you got to think about your color scheme, you got to think about a theme. So it's different. It's different. There's times where, I'll do something standard, 3Ds and regular, block letters or straight letters, if you will. And there's times where I'll just do something way out of the box, and I'll just get artsy fartsy about it. It's different. It's different. You can't, as far as big productions, teamwork, teamwork. You got to talk to each other. You got to make sure, put out a sketch, and make sure that the people that you're teaming up with know what they're doing, and basically it's having confidence in each other.
Yeah, definitely, man. Everybody got to get along, and everybody got to do their part. Because if everybody hating each other, nothing's gonna get done.
At the end is really having fun on what just comes out of you. The nature of you painting. At the end, you have fun, and things usually work out.
I was able to check out your page, brother, and I noticed that you're part of a crew called Cuts that I'm familiar with, which stands for cleaning up the streets. Is there a message behind that? Like, are you guys uh, donating your artistic styles to give the street more of a friendly vibe, or how do you guys go about that?
So we're a nonprofit. We try to, like the name says, clean up the streets. We do a production, we clean up streets, we set up, cleanup projects. And basically what the main goal would be to just spread that out, set up good vibes, make sure that other crews somewhere else in another state or another country or whatever be like, hey, that's pretty dope what those guys are doing. Why can't we do that? Let's do that. And so if it all has to also do with educating the future. Just because you want to do graffiti doesn't mean that you got to be illegal about it. I'm pretty sure that if you go out and talk to a business owner and say, look, man, I'm going to keep this whole block clean for you, but may I paint in your wall there? Odds are he's going to be like, all right, why don't you go ahead and do that? Why don't you clean the block and then let me see what you got. Let me see what you're going to paint on my wall. So cuts is something where we just want to put out positive vibes, educate the future, and and just have a vision of other people, kind of making it spread out and make sure that the future has more of a positive attitude regarding graffiti and the youngsters. And we just got to set up a good example for what's coming in the future.
And that's dope that you guys are doing that. And I personally thank you guys for, keeping the movement alive and educating people about graffiti and what it stands for. And, because sometimes a lot of cats in my eye that I've seen, like, they don't got guidance, they're just going day by day. And it could be so much things that could go bad. And it doesn't hurt to have some type of guidance while you're out there, because it could get crazy and hectic very quick.
No doubt.
You as a parent, brother, because I'm a parent too. You as a parent, how would you feel if one of your children decided to be a writer? Would it bug you?
Not at all. Actually, my oldest, he one day decided to, start drawing, and I said, cool. And then later on, he did a drawing and colored it in, and he said, Dad, I want to paint this. And I was like, okay, and I never told him, hey, look, this is a spray can, spray it. He took it upon his own, and he doesn't paint a lot, but there's times where he's like, yeah, Dad, look, I did this, I want to paint it. And yeah, we go score paint, and he'll paint, So I think the key is, you gotta lead by example. If you behave and if you show that this graffiti thing, it's a positive thing, positive things will come out of it. And I think that's how my oldest, my son, decided. He's like, you know what, my dad's, he's doing something positive. He's painting, good things. And he with me a couple of times, helped me with some of the productions. I have two boys, and they both, they're interested. They don't do it as much, but I'm sure I'm sure they'll keep doing it. And I would really like for both of them to become awesome writers, but it is what it is. Everybody is born with your written story already. Said this is, and if their purpose is to do something else, plant trees or whatever, then so be it. But yeah, just.
I mean, it is true, bro. I just feel like when it's your time to be doing something, and if you're gonna do it, do it with everything you got and at the best of your abilities.
Yeah, you got to do it with passion, because if not, then it's not really what you want to do. So if you're doing it, do it with passion, do it with heart.
Is there any words, brother, that you could share to somebody today that's thinking about writing, or someone that might see this and be like, damn, I might want to get into writing? Is there any words that you could share?
I would say talk to an older writer. get an older writer to be your friend, so you would have a mentor. Get yourself a mentor, someone that's gonna guide you, someone that's gonna let you know the rules, boundaries, and you'll be fine. Don't, what I'm saying? Things fall in place. You're not gonna be a superstar overnight, and practice makes perfect. That's another one.
Definitely.
Yeah, and yeah, it's if you got it, you got it. I only changed my oil in my truck, and I'm not about to change the transmission. I'm not a mechanic.
Yeah, I feel you on that one, brother.
Yeah.
There's a personal question that I ask everybody that comes on Krylan Talk. Do you have a favorite sneakers to rock while you're painting or working on a production?
Oh man. So back in the '90s, back when I did write and whatnot, I had an idea. I had an idea that if you wear Pumas, that meant you're a writer. If I would see someone wearing Pumas, it'd be like, oh, that dude's a writer. So whether whether that's true or not, which I don't think so, because everybody's like, dude, what are you talking about, homie? I rock Adidas or whatever. But nah, dude, Puma all the way, my brother. Puma all the way.
The classics?
For sure.
Hey, I mess with them things heavy.
Hey, bro, old like me, bro, old like me.
Hey, I want to get into something else, brother. Is there a story that you could share that stood out to you while you were out there painting, when you were still painting, that stood out, that you'd be like, damn, I still remember about that night or that moment?
Um, it was the first. I mean, it was the last time I got caught.
Okay.
I got caught. It was in a yard over by Burbank, I think it was. A friend of mine had pointed it out. He's like, dude, I seen graffiti down there, and there's a path, like a little hiking path along the river, the LA River out there, and again, I would still go hit up here and there, and so I went down to the spot, and I got down. I'm like into it, and I was there. I must have already been there for probably 4 or 5 hours. I was about to finish the piece, and it's an obstacle to get in there. You have to go through this tunnel. It was a wash to get down to the river, and I'm finishing up. I'm putting up the finishing touches, and two cops show up out of nowhere. I turn around, and they're right behind me. I heard the radio, and I was like, "Oh crap!" And and there was one of them was a white boy, and the other guy was a Mexican. And the white boy, he looks at me and he goes, and keep in mind, this is a yard. There's pieces.
Okay.
I think at the time, Visor was there, and Jimmer had a piece there. Versus, I think, I mean, it was a yard. It was a yard. And then we well, I was like, the cop goes, what makes you think you can do that here? And I chuckled, and I go, dude, look around. And he was acting, he was just acting like he really didn't like what I was doing. And the Mexican cop was like, look, homie, don't worry about it, whatever. Anyway, but I got booked that day. And yeah, that was a lot. And then there's, I mean, I got tons of stories with the OG homies. We would go to there's a train spot. I think it's off of Elysian Park. There was a spot there where we caught tracks all the time.
Okay.
And we got rolled up, and I mean, I can go on all night, bro. There's tons of stories.
You got rolled up by cops?
By cops, by gangsters, by the local gangsters.
It was a mess, huh?
Oh, dude, yeah, So, but thank God, nothing happened. It was just, whatever. We got to talk about it. No one got in a fight or whatever. But, but we're still here. The homies are still here, and I thank God for that.
Man, thank you for sharing that, man. A lot of people don't seem to understand, bro, that these pieces are not no 15, 20-minute painting sessions. Like, You know, guys be out there 4, 5 hours, 8 hours, depending on what you got going on. So when you guys see it out there, enjoy it because it took some time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Man, how do you feel about graffiti, bro? Where do you see it going? You know, 2 generations from today, 3 generations from today.
It's growing. It's growing. Some people, some artists, like I said, there's young cats that they just have mad talent. Some of the old school writers talent, um, and that's just making it. You know, right now it's a culture. It's a lifestyle. To me, I gotta say, dude, I am graffiti. I am hip hop. I will say that. I say it with a lot of pride. And graffiti is just, you know, late. I mean, right now as it is, you got people making shirts, hats. You got, you know, all sorts of stuff. People painting on sneakers. It's evolving by the minute, and I just see it grow. You know, every generation pops out, another kid is gonna come out and have a dope style and something different and whatever. Um, Nevertheless, um, the aerosol is gonna be alive for a long time.
Definitely, man. I feel you about that one. I just hope it keeps growing and it never stops.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, again, brother, I just want to give you a very huge thank you for coming and Call and Talk today, and shedding some light on us and letting us get to know you. And I look forward to meeting you once this COVID-19's over and we could chop it up in person.
For sure, man. I appreciate you having me. It's a real honor. You know, just you know what you do is keeping graffiti healthy. You know, keeping it moving. You know, you're gonna future generations are gonna look at this video and be like, oh, okay, that's what's up. You know, and so you know, thank you, yeah, for reaching out to all these great artists that you have on your show. Really appreciate you, man. Really do.
Much love, brother. Stay safe out there, and we'll meet each other one of these days when the COVID-19's done.
No doubt, my brother. No doubt. No doubt.
Much love, brother.
Much love. Jer33, Cuts Crew, ISI, Fat Caps, G4. Much love. Peace out.
Peace.